Yo, it's been a while. Someone's calling Tommy. What's going on? It's Possum Peace, also known as Christabel, 56. And we're on this game again. For the life of me, I couldn't tell you why I'm on this game again, but I do know one thing. There is comp on PC. And some people need to know some things, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm gonna try to run down literally everything that I just kind of spitballed. That's someone that I'm training currently. Okay, so rule number 1. When you spawn in a game, in a comp game, and just any game in general, the first thing you should do as counselor is look to the fucking skies. Right? Look for Tommy immediately. No hesitation. If you see it in a cutscene, call it out. Good stuff. Same with the phone. You see the phone cutscene call out, then call it the fuck out. Say where the phone is. People will want to know where it is in the early game. If they know where it is in the early game, then you can make it easier in the late game. And the mid game. You make it easy all game. Because you know exactly where the fuse is going to be. You know exactly where Jason's going to be early game. And then late game, you know where you gotta go. Same with mid game, right? Another thing, man. You gotta learn your tech, man. You gotta get your R1 techs down. You gotta get your drop cancels, your pickups, your spray cancels. I'm not gonna injure myself because I don't have hypo. You gotta get all that down, right? You gotta get part spawn relativity. The key spawned over here. Look at the map. Look at the setup. See? Woodbury's up north, that's the phone. I could tell because of the way that the houses are designated. There's dynamic houses that spawn in specific ways in the map. And you could tell when the phone, or where the phone's gonna be. Etc, etc, etc. Same with Shack. If you know phone, you know Shack. If you know Shack, you know phone. You get me. Anyway. Realistically, what I want to do here is I want to talk a little bit of strategy. Because I think that's what people struggle with the most. You know what I mean? So like I was saying before, when you spawn in, you want to look up. You want to look to the sky, you want to look for Tommy immediately. Right? That's the first thing everyone wants to do in the match. You want to look for Tommy. Once you have him, great. Awesome. You're already one step closer to winning the fucking video game. Right? Next thing you want to do is you want to identify the objectives where they're at. Now, if you have phone cutscene callouts, then you will literally be able to identify the phone in the earliest moment of the game before the game even starts. So you'll know exactly where that's going to be. Right? Now all you need to do is open your map. Look at what the fuck is going on. Do you have a 4-seater? Do you have a 2-seater? Or do you have a boat? Do you have a 2-seater and a boat? Is it Jarvis? Pinehurst? Could be those maps. Could be those maps. You never know. And now you do. Right? Also, when people call Tommy, you will literally hear a small shuffling noise. If you have your music set low, I'm on 20%. You can pick and choose. You need to have chase music so you can hear Jason mid-chase. You don't want to have it, so you don't have chase music. Sorry for that voice crack. But, anyway, moving along. Realistically, strategy comes down to what the cards you're being dealt is, right? So in this game, for example, Jason's got to set up north. Tommy is called. Let's pretend we don't have any of these parts on the map. Let's pretend they don't exist anymore. Your main goal here is, if you spawn in Woodbury, is to leave. You know where he's going to spawn. You don't ever want to give Jason an early chase, because a smart Jason will take that, and he'll run with it. He doesn't need to do much. He just needs to break the phone cabin, trap it up maybe, and then fucking chase you. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So you want to get a distance between you and him. In this case, there's two options. You can immediately leave all of Woodbury to loot the rest of the map. Or you can go loot that house, in this case, right next to the car. And you can gamble. Can I get this house looted before Jason comes to chase me? If you're like a Vanessa or, you know, a Bugsy or a Chad, even Tiffany, yeah, you'll probably do it. If you're a Chloe, maybe, but I'm gonna tell you what, bro. He's gonna chase your dumb ass. So you should not be up there. Repairs should never be in the setup early at all. Like, if you spawn in the setup as a repair, you gotta go. You gotta make your life matter. That's the #1 thing of being a repair player. You have to make your fucking life matter. You can't just go throwing your life away. You can't go making stupid mistakes. One thing that I will say now. There is always an answer to every situation. You just need to find out what that situation is. Figure out the variables. What are our free stuns? What's the spray count? Who's around? Who am I running with? Where's the pressure happening? Make the plan afterwards. Or make the plan beforehand. Because sometimes you'll go in second as counselor and your Jason already did some shit. So now you play for the win con. You know what I mean? You don't want to always play for the idea of, you know, getting the Owen. You know, sometimes playing for the win con is all you need. And playing for the win con, honestly, is the safer route. You know what I mean? So realistically, the safest play is usually the smartest. And I can say this for first hand because I've done many risky plays. Many. I've gotten away with a lot of them. I'm not saying don't go for the risky play. I'm saying if you're going for a risky play, you better make sure that you have your teammates to have your back. And there's a contingency plan. You never want to force things. You never want to force an objective. You never want to do that shit. You just want to ping-pong Jason across the map between multiple objectives. Phone, car. Simple. Now, let's say you have Tommy called. Tommy's called. You need that car fixed. You want that car off the map. You want Tommy back as soon as possible. And there's two options here. You can get the repair out. And that works. That works too. Or, he's shifting on me. There's someone. Maybe he's talking. It doesn't matter anyway. You always want to make sure that if you're keeping the repair on the map, they have... It's usually good for them to have like a gun. Because that gun is going to save their fucking life. And they gotta know how to window hop, that's like 101. And if they don't know how to fucking window hop, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's GG's. It's a wrap. You need to have the right players on the right counselors. That is a principle of playing comp. Once people get comfortable with specific counselors, man, you know, you can put them on different ones. Try to get them used to the rest of the cast. Everyone at this stage of the game should be used to playing the meta counselors. Chad, Vanessa, Repair, whoever it is. Chloe, in this case, because she is fucking busted. Bugsy, Tiffany, etc. Once you get all that, you're all figured it out. You want to just play the match out, right? I'm taking a lot of pauses here because I'm talking to someone on the side. So yeah. Realistically, Tommy's called, you want the car out, you want phone pressure, and you want the car out. So to get the car, you need phone pressure. And to get the cops called, you need car pressure, because they might just give up the cops. You know what I mean? You never know what the situation's going to be. You need to figure out what the situation is in the moment, and work a plan towards making something happen. If nothing's happening, if there is nothing happening, and people are getting chased, it is your obligation to make something happen. Whether you got a PK or not, whether you got firecrackers or not, whether you got a free stun or not, if you have spray, you can make a play. It's that simple. You just need to make sure that you are different. You gotta be different. I've been saying this for years. You gotta be different. You can't get grabbed. You gotta be untouchable. So it's important to always make sure that you're getting like STN practices. doing part finding drills. Shit like that. Keeping yourself warm. You know what I mean? Some people play cold. That's fine, man. If you have enough experience, you can afford to play cold. But I'll tell you what, man. If you don't have that experience, man, you need to build that experience. So building that experience in scrims, mixed lobbies, fucking playing pubs right now, what I'm doing. Playing pubs. Playing a pub match like it's a league game. Looking for Tommy. Doing the objectives literally by yourself. With or without a PK. Because your teammates aren't going to help you in pubs. But in the comp scene, in competitive, they are going to help you. You're going to have comms, you're going to make sure that what you're doing is not for nothing. Because someone else is going to be doing something elsewhere. Someone's going to get chased, someone's going to be on the phone, might be two people, might even be one person. If that one person's there, they probably have shotgun, PK, double spray. More often than not, maybe even just, you know, the holy trinity. PK, firecracker, double spray, and then they have a shotgun for insurance, right? But yeah, one thing that I will say I see a lot of teams not do effectively, coordinating who is going to grab the fucking sweater. Who's going to get it, man? It's going to be you, me? Who's going to get it? Which Vanessa's going to go there? Is it going to be the Tiffany that goes? Because I'm telling you this right now, if you're playing for the phone, and Jason's hard contesting it, not letting that shit go, you're going to have to go for kill STN pressure now. So you need that sweater. And you definitely need it before the sprays are all taken. It is so important that you need it before the sprays are all taken. Because once that happens, it's just fucking over for you. Okay? Another thing, you don't want to waste 3 stuns willy-nilly. Okay? Someone's got a PK, you don't always want to go for that shotgun shot. You don't always want to go for that flare gun save. You want to ask them, hey, you got a PK? Or they're to tell you. Communication is key. I'm going to give you an example. Higgins Large, Blair's Cove God setup. You spawn there. We're going to wait till after this cutscene to finish. So you spawned in Blair's Cove, there's a God setup. Jason knows.
What in the fuck is happening?
Get the 4-seater, Tommy, phone, and you spawn there. Speak of the devil. You gonna won't call it? No, smart Jason will go and cut that shit immediately. So you need to come to your team. He's got a God setup. Tommy, 4, phone, maybe even it's the 2, who knows, or a boat. He's got a setup. You gotta calm that he has a setup. If it's a God, it's implied that it's a 4-seater. Right? So the play is to leave. You leave the fucking setup. Whoever's with you, you leave the setup. If you can get a weapon, all the better. If you can't, it's fine. You just need to leave with your life. It's that simple. Once you leave, it is on the rest of your team and you. Once you're out, you need to find the parts to the other car and bring that shit to the setup. You want to deny Jason the first chase when it comes to God setups. If you can deny him the first chase, that's amazing. Because eventually he'll morph to the car. And that's when you can start, you know, moving in, building pressure and shit. If he never decides to morph to the car, that's a little foolish of him, you know what I mean? He has to find a chase somewhere. And if no one's in the setup, it's just not going to happen. If no one's around the setup, well, then he's just cooked. So it's important to know the situation you're in.
Oh my God.
And work at it. So let's say, for instance, you know, in this setup, in this hypothetical situation that I've made, he's got the Tommy house, and it's the phone house too. Now you're in a little bit of a situation, right? You need to get the box on, you need to apply pressure on the phone, and you need to apply pressure on the other car there, right? Now you don't always need to apply pressure on the other car. It really just depends on whether or not it's a 4-seater, or whether or not
Oh my
You
god!
know, you can afford to just give up that objective, because sometimes you just want to escape. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to escape, right? But if he has Tommy cut, you definitely want to have that other car built. If Tommy's called and that car's not built, you know, if you pushed effectively enough and Tommy's called, that car's built, you can abandon that car and get the other car out. Now you play for kill, phone. See? See where I'm getting at here? And that car can always be built the second Tommy comes back. The second he comes back, that car can always be put back together. All this is like perfect scenario. Nothing goes wrong. You know what I mean? Shit will go wrong. So you gotta adapt. You gotta figure out how you're gonna get out of situations when they arise. It's so simple, man.
Oh my god!
So let's say that, you know, he has that set up, and you're pushing Tommy, and you're pushing the phone, and you're pushing the car too. No! And you brought the car to the setup. No! You want to make it your job to kind of put the priority on Tommy. Jason will choose what he wants to prioritize keeping, whether he keeps Tommy or the phone. If he keeps, let's say he keeps Tommy. Now the phone will get called. And it's in the same house too, so you're going to need to rely on free stuns to really make this magic work. Flare guns, firecrackers, shotguns, you name it. Even the sweater. You got to use your resources at your disposal to make some shit happen. So now the cops are called, and Tommy's not. Well, what do you do then? You have the other car built. You have the car you originally came in built. The other car might not be built. You're gonna need that shit built. Because it could be the 4-seater. It could be the 2, it could be the 4. You want to make sure that you have options. Either way, once both cars are built, you want to try to pack them. You want to leave someone at the phone. Technically at Tommy, but, you know, it's the same difference because it's spawned in the house on Higgins Arch. So once that happens, man, once you leave, hopefully Sweater Girl, with loot, at the fucking phone, Tommy. Sorry, I'm getting a little mixed up here because I'm being chased. And I'm getting knife spammed already. Lovely. Either way, once you get that shit, you want to make sure that whatever Jason decides... Oh, nice grab. Whatever Jason decides that you want to do, essentially you want to play around it. If he decides to keep Tommy, best case scenario,
damn it!
He only gets a 1 kill and 1 prevent. He prevents Tommy, and he gets 1 kill. Right. Hopefully you had both cars repaired. That's the ideal, right? If you can make it happen, you can maybe get a 0. This is assuming this is a 6-person league, right? Maybe you can get a 0. But you're really just relying on the last person STN. Realistically, most Jasons aren't going to give up the phone. The more likely scenario is that Tommy is going to be coming on the scene, right? So you want that car that you built in the early game to drive to the setup off the map. Take the repair, take a Chad, take a who the fuck ever. You know, could even be fucking Bugsy, Richard, whoever the fuck you're playing as your flex counselors, Vicky, Tiffany, etc. Right? Take them off the map, get the Tommy back. Once Tommy's back, then you can play for kill pressure, phone, and you can even have the other car built for more pressure on top of that because you can crash tech. Right? So you're basically in the scenario of STN kill. So you gotta basically know your spray count, you know what I mean? If you have a lot of sprays, then you can play for the phone in that scenario, but you gotta know when to quit. You gotta know when to quit it. Because if he's got traps still, and you got shotguns, you got free stuns, you got opportunities for wake-up hits. And if you have opportunities for wake-up hits, then you have an opportunity to kill. Because you can't just be relying on nothing but trading. You gotta go for the wake-ups, you gotta use those free stuns, firecrackers, shotguns, flare guns. No amount of chip damage in the world is gonna help you if you don't use the resources at your disposal effectively, right? It's all situational, but there is an answer to every single situation. There's multiple answers. There isn't just one. There's the safe play, there's the risky play. And then there's adapting to whatever the situation brings. Whatever Jason does. However Jason reacts to the stimulus that's being, you know, prompted in front of him from the counselors. Whatever the counselors do, and his reaction to it. Right? So yeah, now, you know, you have Tommy called. Great. Car's out. Awesome. Tommy's coming back. You find out how many sprays you have, you find out what kind of free stuns and what loot you have. And then, you can either build the car if it's not trapped, or you can just group up and go for the kill and STM. If you have the loot, you can even attempt to do the phone. It's things like this that differentiate players from being good, bad, etc. But, yeah. That's simple, man. You gotta make it happen, Captain. Some way or another, you gotta make it happen. That is just one example of many situations that happens in this game. So, realistically, you always need to be on your toes, and you always need to be communicating with your teammates. Your teammates will help you, no matter what happens. You just need to be informed. An informed team is a threatening team to Jason, right? So let's shift gears a little bit. Let's shift gears. Let's go for you know, teaming up. Let's go for people like looping together, looping with friends, as you'd say, right? And this doesn't just go for friends. This also goes with just general stamina and looping engagement as a whole, right? When you're in chase, any single moment that you see Jason stop to do something that isn't chasing you is a moment to get stamina. I see too many people not stand still to get their stamina back when they can. And these moments can be when he's grabbing a knife, when he's placing a trap, when he's chasing someone else, and the shift is down. Shit like that. You know, you gotta pick your moments. You gotta find them, pick your moment. Could not be any more simplistic than that. You know what I mean? Man, this guy's trying hard. Anyway. The reality is that that's not always going to happen. Unfortunate. This guy's such an asshole. Anyway. Shit happens. People are dickheads. What can I say? I'm explaining shit right now, so I really don't give a shit. But either way, you know, if I find them again, there's gonna be blood. Either way. Let's say you and someone else are taking chase on a large cabin, right? One of you needs stamina. What do? Simple. If he shifts, once that shifts down, the person who needs stamina, you fucking window hop. The other person needs to take chase around the cabin and link back up with them, and the two need to link back up later on. right? If he doesn't shift down you, you need to play in a doorway and play for a stamina hit in the doorways, or you need to play for someone to trade a hit for you. You could block slide too. You could literally just sit there and hold block and get your stamina back that way. If it's really desperate, really dire. I believe on CFG you can bulldoze. Bulldozing is literally when you block and you swing at the same time. So you could try that as well. You got options. You got a lot of options. You got firecrackers. You got flares, shotguns, the works. You got a lot of options there. But mid-chase, you want to always make sure that you're A, looking at your partner when he's in the middle of a shift. B, when his shift is down. Whoever he's chasing, let him chase that person. You get your stamina. You meet back up with them later in the chase. You want to always be communicating your resources to one another, and you always want to be communicating what you need. Your needs matter to your teammate, and their needs matter to you. So you need to make sure that communication is key. If you don't have good communication, it all just goes to ass. It all goes down the shitter, and it's going to be a terrible game. Speaking of communication, there are a lot of people who will be yapping about random bullshit during games. For an experienced team, it's fine. They've been doing this shit for a minute. They know exactly the plays. They know all that shit. They know exactly what they need to do, when they need to do it, how they need to do it, and they'll adapt to the situation to come. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, if you are inexperienced, if you are new, if you are just getting a team together, or teammates are joining, you're getting new players, etc., you want to keep the comms clear. The time for chit-chat can come before the game, after the game, once you're in a comfy spot, like during the game. Other than that, man, you just don't... You keep the comms clear. Let's say that there's a lot of shit going on, people are common this and that and the other thing. Not all that shit's going to get through to everyone, because everyone's making a comm at the same time. You have something important to say, you need to clear the comms. You need to be like, yo, comms. Or whatever the fuck you say to your team. You know what I mean? I used to say comms, or clear comms, clear comms. Or just, you know, I used to literally just put my fucking, you know, hand up to close to my mic and do that, right? Whatever you gotta do to get your point across, if it's important. If it's not important to the situation at hand, just shut the fuck up. Your time will come. Your time will come. Because there will be a moment of silence, and then you can be like, hey, I'm doing the car. And you know what else is going to be? You know what everyone else is going to say? That's great. And then they're going to continue getting chased at the phone, or whatever the fuck they're getting chased at. Most likely phone. It's just the way these shit works. To be honest. Could be car, could be phone, could be the middle of fucking nowhere. If it's the middle of fucking nowhere, it's probably not a good idea. It's probably just a bad... It's probably just bad. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be... You want to make sure that you're taking chases in the right areas. And that goes with another thing with running. You want to make sure that when you're running, you are always near a safe cabin. You don't want to loop in fucking death cabins. You want to loop around the large cabins all the time. And a good principle as well, you do not want to be chased indoors with shift up. You want to avoid getting chased during shift in small corridors and tight spaces, because that could lead to short shifts or just your death in general, because you can get rebound comboed, short shifted, or you could sandbag each other if you're with someone, etc. You can get double hit. There's a whole list of shit that could go wrong there, right? And the morph spaces are not inside the houses, so you got to make sure that when you're window hopping, you're window hopping from out to in. Most of the time, the inverse is fine. You just need to make sure what's up. What's the abilities? What do we have? Shift up, morph up. What's going on? Is this a safe window or not? You can loop the death cabins. There are safe windows on them, but you need to make sure the abilities are down. You cannot just throw your life away because you need stamina. Doorways, trading. We've talked about it. We're gonna wait for the cutscene. So I'm Rusty.
Oh God! What am I gonna do?
As all hell. But I felt like I did see a house. And since the house is here, I know where the phone is. I can infer where the phone is, and I already have a map because I have no Fear Jenny build on. It's fucking up north. So you know what else I can infer from that? I might just go in this house. Find some streamer loot. And maybe the fuse could be in here. Maybe I get lucky. Maybe I find the fuse literally off the rip of the game. Case and point. I know where the fuse spawns because I know where the phone house is. Because there are specific spawns that it makes. You know what I mean? If you learn the spawns, man, you will literally be doing your team a service. It's important to learn part spawns. Just as it's important to learn where the phone will spawn with cutscene callouts. If you can't make cutscene callouts, fine. As long as you can identify the phone fuse early in the match. That's the bare minimum that you need, right? Buddy system is always the way to go. If you can't be in a buddy system, one of three things. You gotta be different. You gotta have a PK, or you need a firecracker set. Now the last one, if you're a greedy man, you can play those firecrackers early, or you could be a Giga Chad, and you could greed them bitches. But it's a gamble, you know what I mean? You gotta be untouchable. You gotta employ that kind of mentality. It doesn't matter what Jason is. It doesn't matter what their name is. It doesn't matter who you're facing. You just have to basically... You have to have confidence. Confidence is key. It goes a long way. Can't be shallow either. You gotta be confident in your maneuvering around the map. Whether you're alone or whether you're with someone. Whether you got a PK or whether you don't. Whether you got firecrackers or whether you don't. You always gotta be confident. Right? One thing I will say that is important, or was important a while ago, is calling out walkies. And realistically, this is when we played in game chat. But these days, just calling out items. Calling out items. Like, if there's extra spray somewhere in the map, call it out. Call it out. Call it the fuck out. Do not just let people think that, you know, there's nothing that you can do. You always have to make sure that people know what's going on. Shit like that will literally save games. And if you want to win games, you gotta basically just be talking the whole time, man. It's that simple, man. You cannot just be silent. I've only known a few players to do that. And, I mean, even then, they were given callouts in their own way. Right? It's down to you, man. They just gotta be different. Like, for instance, this guy just used a shotgun early. You don't want to do that. That's a free stun. Could have saved that for the phone. Could have saved that for a lot. Could have saved his life. Could have saved my life. You get the point. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else to say. Maybe some closing remarks, I suppose. I mean, this game is dead, so it's going to be very, very easy for you to figure out all this shit. This shit has been solved 700 times over. BLP is literally one of the best teams to exist, and they're still going. And dude, I mean, go watch their gameplay. Like, the way that I learned how to play this game was watching other people's gameplay, incorporating some of the things that they did, questioning why they did it, seeing if it was good, seeing if it was bad, trying it out, experimenting. I did a lot of experimenting in this game, and there are some things that work and some things that don't, and sometimes you will die. Right? So the next time you're going for that shotgun save, remember, keep it low.
Copy, I'm in roll therapy.
And find that angle. Next time you go for that flare gun save, patience and persistence. You gotta keep it calm. Keep the calms calm, baby. Truer words have never been spoken. And with that being said, it's been your boy Possibly Spin, also known as Chris46. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And, you know, as always, be y'all motherfucking see.